Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the May 3rd, 2023 meeting of the Murfreesboro Planning Commission. We'll call the meeting to order, and we do have a quorum tonight. Our first item of business is to approve the minutes of the April 19th, 2023 Planning Commission meeting. We've had a chance to review those ahead of time. If anybody had any changes, additions, corrections, let us know, and if not, we're ready for a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearings and recommendations to City Council. We have two items tonight. Our first item is a public hearing to consider the Murfreesboro 2035 Comprehensive Plan amendments to Chapter 4, the land use, and to Map 4.2, future land use map. Number one is to consider adoption of amended Chapter 4, land use. And number two is to consider adoption of amended Map 4.2, the future land use map. And I believe we'll end up doing these in two separate motions in the end. But are you going to go ahead and present?
Yes.
Everything we'll need to know, Mr. McKnight?
That is correct, if I don't get nervous in the middle of it.
No way.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Planning Commission members. We're very excited to finally be able to stand before you to present the proposed future land use map that we've been working on for almost 2 years at this point with COVID, and then just the body of work and research that we've put into it. But before I move on, if I may introduce the members, did a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm just presenting, but a lot of the heavy lifting was done by Ms. Russ, if she would stand, Ms. Green, Mr. Blomley, and then our consultant with Reagan Smith, Kevin Gunther, actually did all the heavy lifting. So wanted to just acknowledge them before I move forward. Thank you.
You all.
We
We appreciate all that hard work.
Thank you. As you know, we had a very successful workshop meeting on March the 1st, where Planning Commission and City Council was able to have a joint meeting. And during that meeting, we actually were able to break out into breakout sessions, 4 different breakout sessions, where the individuals I just introduced was able to sit down with the Planning Commission and City Council combined to be able to walk through the future land use map update that we were proposing, and we proposed during that time. We were also able to talk about the land use characteristics. We were also able to discuss the new additions to the future land use map as well. So tonight I want to go through about 4 slides just to talk through a little bit about what was talked about during the Planning Commission and City Council joint workshop. If I could get my screen. The first thing we did was talked about just a little bit about the history. We do know that the city of Murfreesboro adopted the Murfreesboro 2035 Comprehensive Plan in July of 2017. It was a 20-year vision for growth for the city of Murfreesboro. Roughly 11 or 12 years remaining on that particular comprehensive plan. Plan elements included major functions of Murfreesboro. And then lastly, it included land use, one of the major functions as defined in Chapter 4. We discussed what we wanted the future land use map to actually do for us. We wanted to make sure that the future land use map could be a tool for city leaders to use to inform land use and development decisions. We wanted to utilize it as a tool to ensure efficient, consistent use of land to accommodate the growth and development, and better capture the vision and needs of the city of Murfreesboro. We wanted to be able to protect the adequate supply of land for diversity and land uses. With the development becoming more complex to develop, projects becoming more complex to actually fit on smaller lots, the future land use map gives us an opportunity to protect adequate supply of land. And then we wanted to use the tool to be able to efficiently coordinate land use and infrastructure. We emphasize we wanted to emphasize a great deal what it's not. It's not a wholesale change to the 2035 comprehensive plan, only chapter 4 of the comprehensive plan. It's not a zoning map, it's land use. It's a map to be used that is used to explain the highest and best use for the land in the city of Murfreesboro. The future land use map is not rigid. It means that it is able to be changed. But lastly, it's not meant to be changed without a study and approval of those changes that are being recommended. Key points that we were sharing during that workshop was it was to function as a tool for establishing infrastructure, evaluate potential growth, a tool that would shape policy growth for the city. It was a collaboration of input from stakeholders. Very important that I share right now what that actually is. We actually sat down with the city police chief, the fire chief, city schools, water resources, Parks and Rec, and transportation departments to make sure what we were presenting as a future land use map update actually met their actual master plan for the next 5 years. We wanted to make sure whatever we were presenting as an update to that map didn't go outside of what they had planned. So anything we were presenting where there was density, not forcing us to create another fire station or police headquarters or police precinct that wasn't already planned for them. So after meeting with them, everything was within their master plan. And then lastly, we wanted to provide consistent messaging. When individuals call in to the planning department, we wanted to make sure that each individual planning staff member would be able to go to this tool, the future land use map, and let individuals know what is the vision for those areas. So there will be a whole lot more consistent messaging to the developers, individuals that wanted to do projects in the city of Murfreesboro. We introduced 5 new elements during that. Economic target centers. We wanted to identify areas in the city of Murfreesboro that would be utilized as land that would be designated for economic development opportunities. We worked with Jim Colson, economic development consultant, that identified those areas for us. So we actually implemented those and put those in the future land use map. We talked about a future study area. That future study area is just that. It is an area that would be studied in the future as we move forward in this vision. And we introduced an infill service line, proposed an infill service line. The infill service line is a line that actually has been designated that we would not annex outside of, but we would annex up to, which actually fits along with the rolling services, fire, police, and everybody. So we thought that the annexation, the old school of thought was annex all you can annex, but we're saying let's have smart annexation that can be supported by our rolling services and our public safety. Second, the fourth thing was a new land use characteristic area. We introduced an urban growth boundary, an urban growth, auto-urban use. And that basically was allowing density in areas that we normally wouldn't allow density in those areas. And then lastly, a transition policy. So tonight we're asking the Planning Commission to do the following. Conduct a public hearing regarding the land use update and the text changes to Chapter 4. Consider adoption of the amended Chapter 4 land use, and consider adoption of future land use map as well. I'm available for any questions before or after the public hearing.
Just to confirm, so we're going to have just one public hearing about both the text side of things and the map itself, yes. But then we will have 2 different motions.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. McKnight before we open the public hearing? Okay. Thank you very much. So we are going to open the public hearing tonight, and we have a first. They have put, I think they're going to show us, oh, they've got it up there. I wasn't seeing it on my screen here. The instructions that I normally sit up here and try to tell everybody about, we're going to open this public hearing and these are the things you're going to need to do, and one week I might tell you one thing and the next week I might say something else, and so these are the things that we need to do. for our public hearings. So you will come up to the podium and you will state your name and address, and as they say, you approach the microphone at the podium and clearly state your name and address. You would identify any party or group that you represent at the beginning of your remarks, and you may only speak once during the public hearing. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes to speak, and if they do represent a group, they are allowed 5 minutes to speak. And if you have any exhibits, photographs, petitions, handouts, you can leave those with the representatives of the department to include in the file. So you can usually pass those to some of the staff, and they'll get us copies if we need them during the public hearing. So with that, we will open this public hearing and ask anybody to come forward that would like to speak about any of the items to do with the Chapter 4 land use and the land use map itself. Just anybody here to speak tonight? And if so, please step forward to the podium. Okay. Seeing no one, we will close the public hearing and ask for any other comments, questions, thoughts from the Planning Commission on these two items. Anything?
Comment I would make, I just appreciate staff explaining it. I really appreciated the kind of the open house thing where we went around and looked at it and we were able to ask questions. And I know this took a lot of time, but it was very good for us as a planning commission to be able to go through that process. So I just want to say thanks.
And it is true for anybody out there looking at that would think we would have a public hearing, and we actually didn't end up having anybody speak at this. There have been a lot of things over the last couple of years, and we've had a lot of public input. And I think for that very reason, we're here tonight and able to just present the final project. And I think everybody feels really good about it. And but when we do have two separate motions we'll need tonight. And the first motion would be to consider adoption of the amended Chapter 4 on land use. So any other comments? And if not, we'll be ready for a motion on that.
If no other comments, I'd like to say too, thank you to the staff. I mean, this was very enlightening as we went through this process and understanding more details about the city and what the growth plan is. So would say thank you to the staff. If there's no other comments, then I'll make a motion that we approve the Chapter 4 land use section.
Second.
So a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then we will also need to have a motion on the adoption of the amended map at 4.2, the future land use map.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the 4.2 future land use map.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you all very much. So that takes care of our future land use plan. That will move on to City Council to adopt, right?
Actually, when it goes to the City Council, we'll be asking for them not to formally adopt it, but merely to informally affirm.
Affirm, approve. I couldn't remember what the right word was, Mr. McKnight. What was it?
I'm sorry?
When this, when we go to City Council, it was going to be, I'm sorry.
To affirm the plan.
To affirm the plan. Okay.
Informally.
Informally, yes, that's correct.
All right, thank you so much. I think I was supposed to say that somewhere along the way, and I forgot. Our item B is going to be a mandatory referral to consider the abandonment of approximately 280 linear foot segment of alley right-of-way located south of West Chestnut Street between North Maple Street and North Church Street. The Hensley Group LLC is the applicant. Mr. Barbie, as soon as we get you up and going.
Chair Jones, if I may, I'm going to abstain from this vote as I have a conflict with one of the properties.
Okay.
Butts.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Salas. Hello, Mr. Barbie.
Good
How are
afternoon,
you?
Chair Jones and members of the Murfreesboro Planning Commission. The next item on your agenda tonight is a mandatory request to consider the abandonment of an alleyway right away south of West Chestnut Street, located between North Maple Street and North Church Street, as you can see on the map here. Staff has received this application and request. We decided to review the entirety of this right-of-way abandonment due to the fact it was all the exact same situation. During this review, during this study, we did request feedback from city departments and outside agencies to see if they had any assets or inventory inside of this right-of-way that would be negatively impacted by this abandonment. All of the departments that responded indicated that there were no conflicts with abandoning this particular piece of alleyway right-of-way. Based on those responses, we do have three conditions of approval that we would like to suggest. That the applicant shall prepare and submit legal descriptions and exhibits necessary for the city legal department to draft any necessary legal instruments. This applies not only to the portion of the alley right-of-way the applicant proposes to acquire, but also to all other portions of the right-of-way being abandoned. The second condition is the applicant shall be responsible for the recording of the respective legal instruments, including payment of the recording fees, and the right-of-way abandonment by the applicant shall be combined with contiguous property via a duly approved re-subdivision plat. The rights-of-way abandoned to other property owners need not be incorporated by re-subdivision plats until the property is redeveloped or some other event requires a plat. The Planning Commission should conduct a public hearing on this matter tonight, and at the conclusion of the hearing, conduct any discussion that you may have regarding it, and then make a motion, make a recommendation for the City Council. I'm available here tonight and happy to answer any questions that you may have. I believe we have a representative here as well with the applicant that can also answer questions if you need.
Okay. Any questions?
Hey, Brad. Yes, sir. We talked when we scheduled this public hearing, did we decide that we are doing this 50-50 across? This half goes to Maple Street and this half goes to Church Street, correct?
Yes, sir. The way we are proposing that this is divided is evenly between the adjacent properties.
Okay.
So,
Thanks for the clarification.
you're welcome.
And Mr. Wright, the conditions of approval that Mr. Barbie read mirror the conditions of approval for Mr. Trout's alley right-of-way abandonment off of Bridge and Kings. We thought it would be fair to handle that in the exact same manner since we were studying a larger right-of-way segment than what had been requested.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be stated.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions before we open the public hearing? Okay. We'll open the public hearing and ask if there's anybody that would like to come forward tonight to speak on this mandatory referral. Anybody? Okay. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Any other questions or comments before we have a motion on this item?
If there are none, I move for approval.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Abstain.
And one abstention.
And
Okay.
just for the record, can you confirm that that is subject to the three recommended
That is
conditions?
absolutely subject to those three recommendations.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have staff reports and other business, and we do have a mandatory referral to consider the dedication of a CUD waterline easement located on city-owned property along Blaze Drive. The city of Murfreesboro is the applicant. Ms. Rush.
Good evening. So this is a mandatory referral, asking that you consider the adoption of, or dedication of a water line easement for CUD on the property that the city owns. This is for the construction of Rutherford County One Stop. Properties located at the corner of Blaze Drive and Fortress Boulevard. And the construction of the Rutherford County One Stop is ongoing at this time. The area of the easement is approximately 2,100 square feet. The Murfreesboro Water Resources Department has reviewed the documentation and has confirmed that there's no conflicts with the request, as well as Middle Tennessee Electric has reviewed the documents and have stated that there's no conflicts. So this item is not a public hearing item. We are asking that the Planning Commission recommend approval of this request to the City Council, subject to the following conditions. If approved by City Council, CRD and/or Rutherford County will be responsible for providing the information necessary for the legal department to prepare legal instruments. Yes, that's you, sir. To formally dedicate the proposed easement in question. The legal instruments will be subject to the final review and approval of the legal department. CUD and/or Rutherford County will also be responsible for recording these documents, including the payment of the recordation fee. If you have any questions, happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Rush on this item? And if not, we would need a motion subject to all of the items listed above.
I'll move for approval, subject to all staff conditions.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other staff reports or other business tonight?
I have none. Mr. Hankins may need to call Mr. Ives, check and see.
He didn't leave any instructions for any, did he?
No, it was all quiet on our front.
All right, very good. Okay, then we do stand adjourned. Thank you very much.